Here we are in the heart of WrestleMania season. We're almost to the finish line, the granddaddy of them all. But before we get there, we have got the WrestleMania of independent events in the state of Kentucky and the surrounding area. The longest running traditional Super Show of the last 25 years. The UCW Caverna Super Show at the Caverna Elementary School. And who is at the top of the card? None other than Hollywood Flynn Hendricks. The same man that holds the UCW Undisputed Ultimate Southern States Championship. The only active title in all of UCW. The most relevant title in this area and the title that sits at the top of my championship wall. But let's flash back to 2022. Where was Flynn Hendricks on that show? As Southern States Champion, he was pre-show. And I took that personally. So now we flash forward to 2023, just a few weeks away. Actually, now it's only a few days away. Time flies, right? But guess where I'm at? I'm at the top of the heap where I belong. I'm the pinnacle. I'm the peak of the mountain. I am the top. But I still have a Brandon Wolf problem. Brandon Wolf, you find it fitting to be a thorn in my side because you weren't smart enough to sign a contractual rematch clause for the UCW Southern States Championship. So what have you done? You have fought, you have clawed, you have tried everything. And when you got those rematches that Terry England or Brandon Wilson or whoever unfairly gave you, you still couldn't get the job done. So what makes you think you're entitled to it now? Huh? And to make matters worse, you went out and got another guy that couldn't get the job done. A legendary performer. The guy that trained all of these active WWE competitors that people see on television right now. That trained future surefire Hall of Famers. You went and got Chris Michaels. And I guess you knew the history between me and Chris because you knew that I looked up to him. When I first got in the business, he was supposed to train me. He was my ultimate dream match. And now, he's not going to help you, Brandon. But since you wanted to make it a tag match and you wanted to make it the biggest spectacle that Caverna has ever seen, I went out and got somebody that I know can help me get the job done and help get rid of you. I went out and got the baddest man in the state of Florida from WWN. One of the baddest men in the professional wrestling industry. I went out and got Francisco Chiazzo. And I know he'll get the job done. But you wanted to make this big, Brandon. You wanted to get your hands back on that Southern States title. Well, guess what? We're going to have some stipulations, Brandon. Because, as you can tell, I'm all about having a good head of hair. You want me to put the Southern States title on the line? I want you to put your hair on the line. I want to rob you of your look, Brandon. I want to humiliate you. And Chris Michaels, I want to do what a concussion, what a fractured orbital socket. I want to do what nobody else has been able to do. Not even time itself. I want to retire you. Put your career on the line if you want this match. And to make it even more interesting for our side, Francisco has offered to put up $2,000 of his own money. So come Caverna, we're going to see what happens. We'll see if Brandon walks out with a bald head and Chris Michaels leaves his boots in the ring. Or if the unthinkable happens, which we all know won't happen. But come Caverna, you're going to get the Flynn Hendricks experience. And Brandon, I want you to remember one thing. To get the win, you got to beat the Flynn. And I know you hear me.